Thank you for joining us for day 2 of Holy Week, Tuesday of Holy Week. So yesterday, Jesus cleared out the temple, right, of all the money changers, those people who were buying and selling in the temple, misusing the temple. And today, Jesus is going to return to the temple. Today we're going to read in Matthew, starting in Matthew 23. I'm going to read to verse 27. And then there's some explaining, because Tuesday actually has a lot of reading, and I encourage you to read this whole section. However, I'm not going to read the whole section now to you on video. So Jesus comes into town again, goes to the temple again on Tuesday. And in verse 23 of Matthew chapter 21, it says this: "And when he entered the temple, the chief priests and the elders of the people came up to him, as he was teaching, and said, 'By what authority are you doing these things, and who gave you this authority?' Jesus answered them, 'I also will ask you one question, and if you tell me the answer, then I also will tell you by what authority I do these things. The baptism of John, from where did it come? From heaven or from man?' And they discussed it among themselves, saying, 'If we say from heaven, he will say to us, why then do you not believe him? But if we say from man, we are afraid of the crowd, for they all hold that John was a prophet.' So they answered Jesus, 'We do not know.' And he said to them, 'Neither will I tell you by what authority I do these things.'" So Jesus is asked a question by the chief priests and the elders who are in the temple. So Jesus asked them a question to teach them, but they don't know the answer either. So on Tuesday of Holy Week, Jesus continues to talk to those people in the temple, to talk to the chief priests, to talk to the elders. He talks to the Sadducees and the Pharisees later on. And he does this for the rest of chapter 21 and through chapter 22 and through chapter 23. So he talks to these people during this time. And then in chapter 24 of Matthew, verse 1 says this: "Jesus left the temple and was going away when his disciples came to point out the buildings of the temple." So now, as we read here, this is just Jesus and his disciples. Jesus and his disciples leave the temple, and they go to a place in verse 3 called the Mount of Olives. And for the rest of chapter 24 and also chapter 25, Jesus talks to his disciples and talks to them, giving them different parables and things. This is referred to as the Olivet Discourse. So he teaches his disciples during this time. And then in chapter 26 of Matthew, it says, "When Jesus had finished all these sayings, he said to his disciples, 'You know that after 2 days the Passover is coming, and the Son of Man will be delivered up to be crucified.'" So Jesus is preparing his disciples for what is to come. This day, Tuesday of Holy Week, is a time of teaching. Jesus gives those people who are against him, the religious leaders, a time to ask questions, and he answers their questions. And then he gives time to his disciples to teach them, to give them some last teachings before Thursday comes, before Passover comes. But he also gives them a heads up that Thursday is coming. So Tuesday, let's model our Tuesday after Jesus's Tuesday of Holy Week. Let's take this time to learn, to sit at Jesus's feet and understand his teachings. As you read these 4 chapters, Matthew 21, the end of Matthew 21, through Matthew 25 or the beginning of Matthew 26, as you read all of the teachings that happen on Tuesday. Ask God to reveal to you exactly what you need to learn this day from those teachings. Thank you again for joining us. And as you continue to watch this video, the song is He Worthy? Read the words and allow them to penetrate your heart. Thank you for worshiping together with us.